Hello everyone, it's Kitty Kazoo. So, I used to make dresses for my Barbie dolls, at first by hand and eventually with a sewing machine, and I've kept all of them in a bag in my closet. I recently pulled them all out and went through them and it was very nostalgic, and I decided that there were a few that I actually wanted to draw. So I chose 3 dresses, because all I ever made were dresses, and 3 dolls to match that I somewhat followed in design for the drawings. The first one here that you've been watching for the past few seconds is just a big blue dress. The skirt is literally just a circle of fabric and isn't even hemmed. All of these are very rudimentary constructions, as one can expect. I made a ton of dresses using this blue fabric, and there were others that I wanted to draw as well, but I didn't want to be using the same color as the focal point in 2 drawings or more. I also gave the girl a glass of champagne, I guess, and the same sort of pompous sneer that the doll has. It looks kind of cool in the end, having that sort of, it's an expression that I don't really work with very often, so it was kind of fun to do and have the big long eyelashes like the doll does. Funnily enough, the first Barbie dress that I ever made was just a simple square of fabric that wrapped around the doll and was made out of all things, a tamale fabric. Yeah, like a bunch of red tamales all over it. It's hilarious. And I made it at a friend's house, and ever since then I was just hooked, I suppose. I recall making ones that I thought Anne of Green Gables would wear, with like puffed sleeves and skirts and everything. And I was sewing by hand at that point though, so the stitches are really terrible. I'm not actually sure where that one is, but for your visualization, it was a really bright hot pink. uh, the coloring for this one was difficult because it's a really big surface area, and I'm just using the one marker, so it ends up looking kind of streaky. That's the unfortunate things about doing things traditionally instead of digitally. But even so, I'm pretty happy with this. I didn't actually use a reference to make the skirt for this, even though I probably should have. It probably would have turned out a lot better if I had, but I just sort of went with my envisionment of the skirt draping around as she's like kind of holding it. I envision her to be sort of twirling, and that's why the skirt is spread out on the other side and, bunched up in her hand, but I'm not certain that I really achieved that. I also gave her like a little underskirt. I don't remember what they're called. A pedophore or whatever. That's not the word at all. But here's the first one all finished. And here is the second one that I'm doing. It is all one piece, actually. The top of it is the cuff of an old sweater, and the waistband is just a strap of brown felt, and the skirt is the leg of a pair of jeans. There's no clasp in the back, and it just slides on and fits like a glove. Quite literally, because that's just like how you put it on. It's actually kind of a neat design, I'll admit. Not to mention it was really easy, because there were no sleeves, and no hemming required, and no sewing of Velcro. So I'd imagine that I probably whipped it up in like 10 minutes. I gave the girl a phone and tall boots because she looked like someone who would always be busy, like a wedding planner or something. I also added a necklace because the outfit felt like it was lacking in something more intricate. So I gave her like what I envisioned to be like pink pearls in this sort of design. And I kept the hairstyle almost the same, like basically the same, almost to a fault. Because I probably should have added some loose strands to make it look a bit more realistic. Not that my style is realistic, but whatever. I actually still remember when I first made this dress, and I didn't like it at all. I thought that it turned out terribly, and it didn't look like something anyone would actually wear. Now, however, I think it does look like something I might see it, like in the real world, out and about. Like, a tube top and a jean skirt are things that people wear. I mean, I don't know about like a knit tube top, but whatever. Me, I'm more into capris and t-shirts. Honestly, I'm just all about comfort. Although I do like maxi skirts. So, in making Barbie dresses, I always use a combination of old clothes and new fabrics that I kept and still keep in separate bins. The cool thing about this dress is that it's made purely out of old clothing, and it's a really easy pattern, which means that, really anybody could make it if they knew how. But yeah, it's a very easy pattern. I just said that already. I'm dumb. But seriously, drawing all of these really made me want to sew some Barbie clothes again. So maybe I'll be making a video later on about, making Barbie dresses. I've done it. I think I've done like one art tutorial on here, but I might do more. I just tend to do drawing more often. And here's the second one all complete. I rather like it. Now here is the third and final Barbie dress that I'm going to be making. This dress is made out of a fabric that makes it look like a quilt for the skirt, just a regular piece of brown for the top, and a band of burlap ties around the waist. On the back, I went real fancy and used a zipper instead of Velcro. This is my favorite Barbie dress that I've ever made, honestly, because I love old-fashioned things, and a quilt dress just seems so cool. Not coincidentally, the doll wearing the dress was my favorite Barbie doll back when I actually played with them. But I wanted the focus of the drawing to be on the skirt, since, it's this intricate, really neat looking design. And all on its own, drawing the skirt took about 25 minutes. Because of this, I thought that I didn't really want the face to be seen. I thought I'd do something that I haven't really seen before anywhere, where the hair just covers the entire face, and you just sort of have to envision what expression she might be making based off of her pose. The hand on the hip, but that sort of melancholy wind blowing through around her. I also made her hair red because I love drawing red hair. I have just the perfect markers for it, so it works really well. But seriously, that skirt is ridiculous. I had to first align where I was going to put all the squares and take into account folds in the dress and the fact that it's all sort of moving and wrapping in a certain way. After that, I had to fill all of these squares in with different patterns that were similar to those of the actual skirt, some of which were very detailed, and I sort of had to figure out how to simplify. After all that, I had to go over everything with ink, and then later on I went and colored it all with 5 or 6 different markers, and just trying to make each square look not exactly the same, and make it look like maybe there's just sort of some randomness, but also a bit of order to it, so it doesn't look just crazy. And I also made the decision to have her skin be a bit darker so as to match the cream, so that it wouldn't match the cream skin tone that I used in the skirt, since the actual thing has quite a bit of cream in the backgrounds of things. Not to mention the band around her waist was also with the cream skin tone. So having her skin darker just made that all a lot easier. And looks like that's about it. This is the quilt skirt dress all finished drawing, and as expected, the third one with the quilt skirt is my favorite, but tell me below which one you liked the best. I actually really enjoyed doing this, and I might decide to do it again, but for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.